I think Zunesha is the key to understanding the past. An ancient elephant, she's the last living creature from the era of the Ancient Kingdom, and thus she gives us clues about JoyBoy and the Void Century.
Hey, nigga better turn me. Nigga better turn me. Yeah, nigga better turn me. Yeah.
Hey all, Golden Boy here. So One Piece Chapter 1040's dropped, and it's put me in a theory mindset. Spoilers in 3, 2, 1. It's revealed that Zunesha was JoyBoy's Nakama, and there are some interesting implications for the story. How does Zunesha teach us about the past? I'll get to that, but first, let's discuss JoyBoy. Who or what is JoyBoy? Well, there are actually many good answers for this question, and the obvious answer is that JoyBoy is a prevalent figure from the Void Century and the Ancient Kingdom. He's connected to the ancient weapons and is said to have left one piece of treasure at the end of the Grand Line. JoyBoy also appears to be a title. I think there have been multiple JoyBoys, but all have failed so far, because Kaido used to think that he could have been JoyBoy, and he even told Luffy that he could not be JoyBoy. So it's a safe headcanon to say that JoyBoy is a title that can be earned. So what does JoyBoy do exactly? Well, he's thought to be a person that brings joy to all and promised to raise the Noah, bringing the fishmen to the land of the sun. Speaking of sun, it's also a common belief that sun god Nika was JoyBoy, because of the story of Nika is similar, an influential figure that freed slaves from their oppressive owners and brought them joy. The world government even tried silencing those that told stories about sun god Nika, and we already know based on the Void Century that the world government tries to silence JoyBoy too. So I think JoyBoy and sun god Nika are the same person. And quick note about sun god, we have seen references to him in Skypiea as well. Shandian girl that was supposed to be sacrificed to that giant snake, well, she said she was excited to meet the sun god. That's an interesting thing, to be joyful at your own death, because you get to meet a sun god. For me, it sounds kind of like religion. People can be relaxed in their older age, believing that there's a destination after Earth. Perhaps this is why Roger smiled at his execution. I'm not gonna die, partner. Perhaps this is linked to Sun God or JoyBoy. The will of D as God's chosen people. They always die with a smile on their faces. But enough on what does JoyBoy represent. Let's hear 3 takes on JoyBoy real quick that I like from our One Piece community. Up first, let's briefly discuss theory number 1 about JoyBoy. JoyBoy was based on ancient king Joyoboyo, and this is a theory posted by Evil. Basically, there existed an Indonesian prophecy about a king named Joyoboyo, and he predicted that someday there will be somebody that will bring peace to the world. And there were stone tablets and everything. There were islands that sounded like Jaya. Click on the card above to learn more about Evil's theory. But from this theory, we get the idea that being a JoyBoy is sort of like a prophecy, and there are multiple JoyBoys, and there will be a new JoyBoy that brings peace to the world, and it seems obvious that it would be Luffy. Up next, let's talk theory number 2. The original JoyBoy was Oars. This is a theory by a YouTuber named Wizard of Oars, and he proposes that the original JoyBoy was none other than Oars the Continent Puller. Luffy's shadow was the only shadow that was fit enough to pilot Oars' body, and furthermore that giant straw hat at Mary Joie may belong to him. From this theory, we get the idea that the ancient kingdom was originally in pieces, and that Oars dragged them together. Finally, let's talk about theory number 3. JoyBoy Theories put out a theory about JoyBoy. Kind of meta. But anyway, JB's take on the ancient kingdom is that it was a kingdom of pirates. He says this in a bunch of his videos. It was an advanced kingdom because they traveled and communicated. They specialized and taught each other. That's kind of like how Luffy can have the world's greatest swordsman, the world's greatest chef, the world's greatest sniper, the world's greatest navigator. It's because when you're a pirate, you meet people and they can specialize. From this theory, we pull the idea that the ancient kingdom does not necessarily need to be one stationary kingdom, but rather a kingdom of people and ideas. Like Vivi said in Alabasta, a kingdom is its people. So perhaps they were the chosen people. The ancient kingdom may have been the people of D. So combining all of these thoughts together, how does Zunesha come into play? Well, in a discussion I had with Edens and Evil in a voice chat a couple weeks ago, we discussed the idea that Zunesha's order as not actually a method of punishing Zunesha, like in a malicious way, but it's actually a form of protecting her. And now that we know that Zunesha was actually considered to be part of JoyBoy's Nakama, maybe he was the one that gave the order. He ordered Zunesha to wander forever to protect her from the world government. And if you think about it, she's actually the last member of the Ancient Kingdom alive today. And it's crucial that she must not die, just like Momonosuke. And keep rolling with me. Even if this seems like tinfoil, we've now entered the tinfoil corner, and this is where we're going to have some fun. The voice of all things is not talked about enough in this community. And as far as we know, there are only 5 people, give or take, that can hear the voice of all things. Luffy, Momo, Roger, Odin, and then the Third Eye Tribe, and so I guess that would be Pudding once she awakens. So what could these people all have in common? Well, maybe they are all bloodline related to the Ancient Kingdom. Their roots trace back to that Ancient Kingdom. Descendants of JoyBoy and his followers. It might not be blood related because, we have Luffy's father and his grandfather, stuff like that, but at the very least, it is related to the Ancient Kingdom, I think. There's something special about this group of chosen people. And Zunesha appears to be what brings out the voice of all things, as we keep saying with Momonosuke. In fact, Luffy and Momo can kind of communicate with each other, almost like telepathy, but so can Zunesha, and it kind of feels like a relic of the Ancient Kingdom. Perhaps it's something to do with the tech of the Ancient Kingdom. They're highly advanced. But what if the Ancient Kingdom, that some think could have been pulled together by oars, is actually being pulled together again right now before our very eyes? Each of Wano's regions have different climates entirely. That's why it's snowing on Zoro while Luffy's in a hot desert prison. These islands are not naturally made for each other. They didn't naturally come together, I don't think. Maybe oars dragged all of the pieces of Wano Kuni together to make one piece. One piece. And then they named it the Ancient Kingdom. How did a giant piece of land get on Zunisha's back? Well, maybe that Ancient Kingdom was being erased, and during the Void Century, and in a last-ditch effort, JoyBoy ordered Zunesha to pick up one of the pieces of the Ancient Kingdom, the last piece, and just run away. Don't look back. Run forever until you find the next JoyBoy. Whenever someone can hear the voice of all things, it's whenever they're near Zunesha. That's when their power turns on. That's what it seems, because we see Luffy and Momo communicate, and then we find out, chapters later, that Zunisha's actually here at Wano. It doesn't seem like a coincidence. The Ancient Kingdom is actually in pieces. They are Ancient Kingdom descendants. They're chosen people coming in contact with their chosen land. And there's something special about the land of Wano. Kaido even said so himself. He said he chose to go to Wano for a specific reason. So what do you think? Could JoyBoy have put that last piece of his kingdom on Zunisha's back and ordered her to run away to find the next JoyBoy? It's an interesting theory, a last-ditch effort to protect the culture of the Ancient Kingdom. So be sure to leave a like and comment, subscribe to the channel for more of my fun and games, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good weekend, and remember, stay golden. Thanks for watching.